Mr. Beecham, will you lead us in the pledge?
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call roll, please.
Dr. Schutz, Mr. Jester,
Here.
Ms. Ronio, here. Ms. John, Mr. Sharam,
Here.
Colonel Hassenlock.
Mr. Beecham, do we have any special guests or special recognitions tonight?
We do have a special guest this evening. I'd like to introduce to you this evening, if I may, Denise Burns. And Denise is the winner of the Poetry Out Loud State Contest. She's the state champion. We'll be going to nationals, which I believe Dr. Freeman are in Washington. Is that correct? Washington, D.C. And if I'm not mistaken, this is 2 years in a row that we have had the state champion in this particular activity. Am I correct in saying that? 2 out of the last 3. Okay, thank you. Well, that's not bad. 2 out of 3 is not bad. I heard that one time. So I would ask Denise this evening if she would come forward and share with us one of her poems. I'm sorry, Denise is a student at Lawton High School. Come on up, Denise. You may use the microphone over here if you want, and please tell us a little bit about what you were expected to do in order to participate in this contest.
Hello, I'm Denise Burns. To participate in the Poetry Out Loud contest at a national level?
Just what qualified you to go to nationals?
Okay, to qualify for nationals in Poetry Out Loud, you need to memorize 3 poems. One of them has to be before the 20th century and below 25 lines. Also, you need to win twice before you can head to nationals. Oh, I'm sorry.
So if you would share with us any or all of your poems if you want, we'll leave that choice up to you. We'll just enjoy it.
I'd like to share 2.
That'd be great.
Will I be saying the poem here from this podium? Okay. Okay, I'll stand there. But to introduce my poems, the first one is Fishing on the Susquehanna by Billy Collins, and the second is It Was Not Death, For I Stood Up by Emily Dickinson. I'll begin.
Thank you, Denise, very much. I think I can speak for most of the people here is that we don't have that gift that you have to go to that place you go to make that so real and make it so special for everyone. And we thank you for sharing that gift with us very much. And congratulations. Hope you have a great trip, and we wouldn't mind being national champions. You know, we like a win. That's a good word. So, also this evening we have another special guest, or actually several special guests. We are blessed this evening to have the Real World Design Challenge team from Eisenhower High School, and they are headed up by Miss Catherine Hergenrather and Mr. David Baer. And I will let Catherine, if you will introduce your team, or however you guys have this worked out. David, are you going to do the introductions? They'll do it. They'll do it. Oh, well, let me back off and not cause problems. So.
Mr. Beecham and school board members, we would like to thank you for allowing us to come and present to you our Real World Design Challenge. To put our challenge simply, we were required to design a light sport aircraft that met a set of given criteria. At this time, I would like to introduce our team, Lawton. My name is Kirsten Hampton. We have our other members, Ryan Miller, who is unable to be here today. We have Isabella Schifino, Mitchell Lefebvre, Michael Felder, Andrew Popp, and our coach is Miss Catherine Hergenrather. Similar to the Wright brothers, our goal was to create a heavier-than-air flight. Unlike Orville and Wilbur, whose flight lasted 12 seconds and covered a distance of 120 feet, our aircraft was required to fly 200 miles in less than 2 hours at an altitude of 1,000 feet, which is over 50 times the height of the Wright brothers' original flight. At this time, I would like to introduce Isabella to speak further about our project.
Thank you, Kirsten. We knew little about our aircraft to start with, so we began with the fundamentals. These are the 4 forces that act upon an aircraft. Although we had to design the entire airplane, the major objective was the design of the wing. Above are pictures of cross-cut wings. We learned about the various parts of a wing, why wings lift the plane, and what causes an airplane to fall from the sky. This was quite important as we didn't want this to happen to our plane. These are some variables we initially considered for our wing. We realize most of you do not know these terms, neither did we. I would now like to introduce Mitchell, who will continue on with the design.
Thank you, Isabella. This table shows the variables necessary to the plane's design. Highlighted are the more important of the variables. We would input data into computer programs such as MathCAD Prime and analyze the results. If we were not satisfied with the results, we would change the variables and reanalyze the results until satisfied. This chart shows several values for the angle of attack. The optimum angle is highlighted. This angle provided the maximum lift for our plane's wings. Michael will continue.
Thank you, Mitchell. Not only did we have to design the shape of our wing, we also had to find the materials that would give us the best results too. We tried different things such as Kevlar and carbon epoxy, but finally decided on a wing made up of 3 layers of carbon epoxy woven. The area to the side of the wing is pink. The area to the side of the wing in pink is set apart because it encountered the most stress. We've made the material thicker in the section to make up for it. After finding the wings, we had to insert the information to find the correct sizes for the tail, consisting of the rudder and stabilizer. After this, we also had to decide on a fuselage. We could choose from a petrol, battery, and high wing. We chose petrol. After this, we used a program to attach all the different pieces of the airplane into the product you see here. Thank you, and I will now pass it on to Andrew, who will continue with our conclusion.
Thank you, Michael. Throughout this challenge, our team was faced with a number of unique situations that pushed all of us to ask questions that we had never considered before. We were given the wings to explore a realm that we never knew existed. We faced a number of issues that not only entailed many of the early lessons we learned, such as the variables, the forces, and basic knowledge about aeronautics itself, but also lessons about our team, and we found that the effort needed to finish this task was far more than we had imagined. Through these errors and setbacks, however, I believe that we have been able to gain a more thorough understanding of both the software and the process of designing portions of a plane. This also helped us learn, like Icarus, that we cannot make a plane out of anything. We were forced to shed our wax wings and instead don those of carbon epoxy. Another set of unique challenges were provided by the need to solicit mentors, create a written report detailing nearly 60 pages of information, an oral presentation nearly 15 minutes, and questions in front of a panel of judges. This challenge has been a wonderful experience for everyone involved on our team and has provided a unique experience to design and work with planes. As stated in Amelia Earhart's quote, "In soloing, as in other activities, it is far easier to start something than it is to finish it." Amelia was right about soloing, in that a lone individual may see a task as insurmountable, but for a team it becomes far easier. I thank all of you for your time, and as such the words of Neil Armstrong, "The eagle has landed."
Mrs. Hergenrather, would you like to make any comments, or we hate to? Well, I need you to come to the mic because I want to make a comment, but please.
Just to explain a little bit of this, these kids started back in September. They applied to be in this group. This was not a school activity as far as being given a credit in a class. They came in on Sunday nights. Thursday nights they had homework for me. They also have me in calculus and/or chemistry, which they also have homework for me. So they got a little bit tired of me. But they really pushed and worked hard. They did things over Christmas break, and this was all just because they wanted to pursue something. They wanted to challenge themselves. They did an incredible job, and I'm really proud of them for what they did this year. So it was a really good experience for all of us. So thank you for letting us present.
We're very proud of them also, and I would like to share that we're very proud of you as well. Miss Hergenrather, excuse me, was just recently given the honor of being named the National Math and Science Institute Teacher of the Year. And she will be going to Washington, if we let her off, the end of May to be recognized there. So not only is it an exemplary group of students that we have that represent Eisner High School, we have an exemplary teacher, and we are extremely proud. I had the privilege of going with several of them to Washington in November on kind of a science expedition, and I came back a lot smarter than I left by my association with them. So it's wonderful to have students of this quality, wonderful to have students like Ms. Burns that have true gifts and talents, and they don't just do it to get a grade.
Right.
They do it because they love it, they do it because they want to share it with others, and because they can make things better and more pleasurable for other people by using their gifts. And we're very proud of all the students represented here this evening, and very proud of you too. Thank you.
Sir.
Students, this is where I normally chime in and say, if you have homework, you feel free to leave, and thank you for coming and sharing with us, and we appreciate very much. And I promise you, we'll all go home trying to figure out what it was you said to us about the engineering, and we'll go home inspired by the words of poetry. So thank you all very much.
Well, unfortunately, the best part of the meeting is now over, but we will continue. Is there an architect's report tonight?
We do not have an architect's report tonight, but I hope in a very short period of time to have a really good architect's report for you. I would report to you this evening that, well, I can do that under item 7A. I'll just wait till.
Okay. Departmental report?
Not this evening.
Report of the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chester. Under item 7A, the projects that we've been working on the last year that have been funded by the sales tax, the 6 projects at Sullivan Village, Pioneer Park, Cleveland Elementary, somebody's going to have to help me, Lawton High School, MacArthur High School, and where's the sixth one? Eisenhower Elementary. Thank you. Oh, this memory thing is a bad deal. Are all, as I've stated, on schedule and prepared. We're preparing to have those all concluded according to schedule. But we did get an occupancy permit the other day at Pioneer Park, and so they will be moving in. I think they're going to do something a little special out there, and you will be invited, I'm sure, to participate as board members, but we would welcome anyone that would like to join us when we do that to come forward and do that. And we'll do that with each of these 6 locations. We want to open it up and let the public see the nice environment we'll have for our children, the nice facilities. And hopefully we can continue to improve our facilities over the next few years so that they are indeed what our children deserve to have. Under item 7B this evening, I would ask you to consider taking action to approve the proposed summer feeding program budget and recommendation. Mr. Mark Coulter is here this evening if you would like to ask questions of Mark regarding the program. This has been one of our more successful programs over the last few years. It is very simply a great thing for our children, and it produces a great opportunity for us to stay in touch with those children and connected to them throughout the summer while also giving them an opportunity to have a healthy meal each day. It is funded, as you already know, by a grant from the federal government and the USDA, and we are out no cost on this program. So it makes it even better when we can do good things for our kids and somebody else pays for it, and we get all the wonderful benefits of it. So, Mr. Coulter, anything you'd like to say this evening?
No, I think we're looking forward to a good program. There might even be some additions moving forward to get a lot of people coming and asking for more help this summer.
Currently, the program is set to start at serve at Geronimo Road in June, Wilson in June, Ridgecrest in June, Pat Henry in all the month of June, Crosby Park all of the month of June, and Douglas all of June, as well as Sweeney and Central Middle School for June. Then in July, we will continue at Geronimo Road, Wilson, Ridgecrest, Pat Henry. Douglas will have a program during the month of July as well. Well, I'm sorry, that's actually just, that's not a feeding program, is it? At Douglas?
Both the feeding site at Douglas and your satellite out of there.
Okay. Okay. Sweeney and Central Middle School as well through the month of July. Even though that says July 1 through June 20th, it should be July 1 through July 20th on the July numbers. So we will have feeding basically from the 4th of June through the 20th of July this year.
Do we know the numbers of how much that's increased over the past 2-3 years as far as how many we're feeding from summer to summer?
I can't tell you how many from summer to summer, but I can say that we had a little of an increase a year, 2 years ago, and then last year kind of leveled out. So it hasn't been increased, but it's stayed pretty level.
I just wondered with, gas prices and everything the way they are, as if we were going to get a larger influx maybe this summer, so.
We would like to think so. The heat last summer kind of affected a lot of the kids being out. So if we have a mild, but it's going to be warm, of course, as it always is. But
yeah.
if we don't have the extreme heat like we had, they built a new kids zone at Elmer Thomas Park, and because of the construction on 38th Street, they're not opening the old kids zone. So we're hoping that we'll get a lot of kids down at that end of town. And then the sites that we're picking, we're believing that we're locating in town where we can get better exposure from
Mark, would you explain, please, too, how the satellite sites work? Why don't you come to the microphone so
Yeah, what we do is at Douglas Elementary, we're going to make the sack lunches, and then we deliver them out to the satellite sites, which is the Elmer Thomas Park, and then we have a couple churches and different locations. I can't remember all of them. We make the food there. We do breakfast at Boys and Girls Club and St. John's. So we'll take breakfast out in the morning, and it's in a sack lunch for the kids ready to go. And then we'll do the lunch at all the other sites, and we deliver it back out and serve it to them. Yeah.
So in addition to our schools, we have about 4 or 5 other sites that we're actually providing meals.
Yeah, we do the schools that are in the areas of town that we tried to centralize, and then we reach out to the parks where those kids typically are going. Boys and Girls Club is pretty much, it's an open site, but it's a captive audience because they all go there, and it's nice to be able to take it to them because they can't leave to go anywhere during that time frame. YMCA, we're going to accommodate them this year, which I believe is going to be at the Howell Elementary School. They're going to utilize that school, so we're actually looking at maybe trying to do that as a site versus a satellite site, which would be able to give them a hot meal if they want it. So that's our goal, is just reach out to wherever kids are at and try and get the food out to them.
What age groups do we get? Do you have any idea? Is it strictly elementary school, or do we get middle school kids?
No, surprisingly it is, the age ranges from 0 to 18. You know, anybody can take part in it, but surprisingly we get a lot of middle school kids up to even 18 years old that come out. Some of the kids that are out doing yard work, things like that, know that the sites are close by. Pat Henry, for example, we got a lot of kids there that were 17, 18 years old that were out doing things, and they came in because they knew that lunch was there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How many lunches would you say is provided on a daily basis, and how much are you prepared for? You know,
go ahead. Be right back.
You can get that.
Yeah, here we go. Currently, we're budgeting for the month of June. We'll look at, per day, 886 lunch meals and 379 breakfast meals per day, which would give us, for June, 17,720 meals in June that we would serve to the kids. And then in July, which typically it drops in July because people are going on vacation, things like that, but we're at 728 meals a day for lunch and 251 for breakfast. So, and those were based on actual numbers from last year and the year before, and then averaging out. So again, if this summer is a little less heat and a little more activity outside, we're going to do better, and that's the goal.
And let's pray it's a little less heat.
That's right.
Thank you, Mark, very much. And that's 1,000 meals a day that our children are eating in our community that might not otherwise be available. So just by taking the action to have the program, and I think it's critical that that's just one more way the school district can serve the community. And I want to commend Mark and his staff because they really do a great job. The program has grown, and we used to be at about 3 sites, and we're almost triple that now. So that's really great. So I would ask your approval of the budget this evening.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Ms. Romeo? Yes. Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda, 7C, is action regarding the selection of an auditor for FY13. As you know, each year we have to take bids for our audit. We are in no way dissatisfied with our current auditor. However, I personally have a feeling that about every 2 or 3 years, a new auditor looking at your books is a good thing. And we are recommending to you this evening the audit firm of Ray Hall, Henderson, and Johnson. All of these auditors have to be approved by the state in order to even get on the list. They responded to our RFP, and their bid was considerably less to perform the audit than the auditor that we have been using. So with the savings of funds, which is always critical, and the quality of work that we are familiar with from both of these firms, I think that would be our recommendation, and ask for your approval this evening.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes. Under item 7D, we are seeing some of the first impact of the reform efforts on education in Oklahoma, or actually across our entire nation. The item in 7D is consideration and action to select the Tulsa teacher evaluation model as the exclusive teacher evaluation process for the Lawton Public Schools for 2012 and 2013 school year. Sounds a little funny to be accepting the Tulsa model, but the state went through and vetted various evaluation processes, and they came back with 3 that school districts could choose from. And of the 3, the Tulsa model was the one that we felt best suited Lawton Public Schools. 95% of the schools, we're told, in the state of Oklahoma have chosen this model. Part of that is economics, because the others are very expensive, and part of it is I think that the tool is very straightforward. It's very easy to understand what you have to do in order to achieve the type of evaluation you want to achieve as an educator, and we just felt like it really matched up well with our personnel. So what we're recommending to you this evening is the acceptance of this as our evaluation tool. We will have to bring back to you, after you accept this, what it will do is it will result in us having to go to our policy and change our policy on how our teachers will be evaluated. And we will have to bring that policy back to you with all the details in it at that point. And that'll be probably 4 to 6 weeks away to do it. But we have to have it done before the 16th of April, according to the State Board of Education. And this was the only opportunity we had to bring it to you this evening. So item 7D is the consideration of accepting that model as our evaluation model.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes. Item 7E is exactly the same thing, only it's the evaluation model for administration, or leaders. That also is being ramped up. And when we bring these back to you, we will go through and show you the particulars of the process, so you'll have an understanding of what teachers will be seeing in terms of their evaluation process, what principals will be seeing in terms of evaluation process. There were only 2 in this category that we could choose from, McRill, and I've forgotten the name of Reeves is the other one, yes. And these 2 are both very expensive products. Tulsa also has a wonderful administrator evaluation tool, but the state has not yet accepted it as an acceptable one. We're monitoring that. It would be more financially advantageous for us. You know, they say these are unfunded mandates, but the reality is that some of these evaluations are 27 pages long, and if you do them on paper, they'll give them to you free. But if you want to do them electronically or with technology, then they will charge you, for example, on the administrators, $200 per administrator to provide you with the program. I see that as another unfunded mandate, but our state superintendent says it's not costing us anything. So
she's paying for it, right?
Yeah, she's covering the charges on it. Yes, well stated. The evaluation processes are very good tools. They're much needed. We need to look at these, both of these tools for teachers and administrators. I don't think there's any argument there. I do have some concerns about the costs that are being shoved on us, but the reality is that we needed to ramp our tools up, and these are good choices. So I would present to you this evening the McReal Leader Evaluation Model as our exclusive evaluation process for the 2012-13 school year.
Well, I was just glad that you clarified that, you know, that one was Tulsa and one wasn't. It made it look like, well, it's not good for the, you know, teacher's evaluation and different, but, you know, since they're not part of the program yet, it's good that you clarified that.
We have visited with Tulsa. They are trying to get theirs to be an accepted tool by the State Board of Education. They too will be going with McReal. They're not real pleased about it because they feel like their tool is as good as this one. And ironically, McReal helped them develop their tool. But, you know, this is, it's time for me to be quiet. That's what this is. So go ahead.
If Tulsa gets their program online, would we be able to switch?
We will be able to switch, not for the upcoming year, but we would switch for the following years.
Okay.
And we're very hopeful that that will happen. And they are working hard to try to get there. And I think if cheerleaders on the sideline help them any, they've got plenty of those,
Really?
plenty of school districts cheering them on to do that. So I would ask for your approval of this evaluation tool for our administrators.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
That's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Beecham. Are there any items that we need to remove from the consent agenda?
I have nothing.
For me.
Entertain a motion for approval then.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes. Mr. Beecham, do we have a need for an executive session tonight?
Not this evening.
Very good, okay. Superintendent's personnel report.
Thank you, Mr. Jester. I would ask you to approve the employing, promoting, disciplining, and receiving of resignations of individuals certified and support salaried personnel as listed on pages 171 and 172. Thank you. Sorry, that didn't.
I move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes.
Is there any new business that needs to be considered? Next board meeting date's Monday, April 23rd. Consideration action concerning setting any different board meeting dates. All right, board announcements.
I have three things I would like to bring to the board's attention, if I may. First of all, I would like to just simply remind them we're getting ready to enter our testing period for students. Many of our activities will be slowed down or they will be restructured in such a way not to involve the students being out of class. It's a very critical time for the district and for the students since the results are now tied to them obtaining a diploma in the state of Oklahoma. So it is a time that we take very seriously, and we would ask for our parents to support us in making sure children are students, because some of them are young adults, are all well rested. And during this time period, throughout the year, we feed grades K through 8 breakfast every morning free. During the testing period, this last 9 weeks, we will feed all grades K through 12 free. It costs us just a little bit to do that, but it's almost a break-even proposition by the reimbursements we receive, and we feel like it is beneficial for our students to have that opportunity to at least have something to eat in the mornings that they might not otherwise have. And someday we'll figure out how to do it all year round to be able to break even on feeding them all year long. But that we want the parents to be aware of that. Also, as you may have seen in the newspaper last week, we were sent a letter, formal letter, asking us to apply for a Defense Department grant that's being issued through the department, or through the Office of Economic Adjustment. We were told that we would be eligible to receive $37,215,356. And no, I don't have to read that. I've got that one memorized. And what we have to do at this point, the process to this point has been that we had to show them or justify to them that we had a need for the funds, and then they would determine based on our need for funds and the need for other school districts for the same type of funds, what our portion of those funds would be. And in the proposal we've submitted and the work we've done with them, they have determined that that's the amount that we should qualify for. That's extremely encouraging. I would also say we have $8 million of money that has come from our local sales tax that was originally dedicated, $4 million at each at Sheridan Road and Geronimo Road, to do renovations that will be put in with this because we had to have a 20% match on the program. So we will build one outstanding school at Fort Sill, and I would like to personally thank Colonel Hassenlop, who has just been a warrior in more than one way in staying with this process, Brenda Spencer-Ragland and members of my staff, as well as all of you and members of our community that dropped those little hints into the ears of the right people and kept us motivated to keep pushing. We should know no longer than 120 days, no less than 60 days about our formal application being accepted, but we basically have done everything. They have approved our amount, and now we have to get it into the format that is required by the OEA for the grant to be awarded, and we're working on that as, I won't say as we speak since it's almost 6 o'clock, but we will pick up early in the morning and go back to work on that. But it's extremely thrilling for me as superintendent, and I hope for this community and for you as members of the Board of Education to have the opportunity to know that something really great is going to happen as a result of the efforts of a lot of people in this community, and our children are going to be the winners, and that's the big thing in all of this. So we're very pleased about that. The other thing I would announce this evening, and I'll do this next time, our Teacher of the Year ceremony will be held right here at the City Hall auditorium, and it is on April 26th. So if you would mark your calendars, we would look forward to you being here. That's a very special night to honor some very special people, not just teachers, but a number of our employees and some members of our community as well that support us so especially. So we hope you will take time to do that. It's 6:30 on the 26th of April.
Thank you, Mr. Beecham. I would like to commend you and your staff and Colonel Hassenlop and folks out at Fort Sill for all the work that you've done. I think that you must have done an exemplary job. It appears that we're going to be able to receive enough funds to complete that project in all three phases at once, and it's an amazing effort. Thank you very much for doing that and doing so well.
Thank you.
I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Sherem?
Yes.
Colonel Hassenlop? Well, he's here.